The United Nations praised a new signed action plan to safeguard children affected by armed conflict in Yemen. More than 10,200 children have been killed or maimed since the beginning of the conflict, and thousands more have been recruited into the fighting. The following report has more on that.
Houthi rebels have agreed to stop recruiting children who spent years forced to fight in the country's 7-year war, according to the UN. The Houthis signed an action plan with the United Nations to seize and prohibit the recruitment and use of minors in armed conflict, as well as the death and injuries of children and attacks on schools and hospitals. The rebels pledged to identify minors in their ranks and release them within 6 months, according to UN spokesperson. Nearly 3,500 children have been identified as having been recruited and deployed in Yemen's civil war, according to the UN. In 2018, a senior Houthi military officer informed the Associated Press that the group had inducted 18,000 child soldiers into its army by that time, and a former child soldier said that boys as young as 10 were recruited. The Houthis use complex patterns to forcibly recruit children and put them in hostile areas under its control in Yemen. Many children were killed as a result, and hundreds were injured. It doesn't stop here. The militia's targeting of children was not limited to intimidating them, but also targeted their schools, either by destroying them or forcing them to replace school pens with Kalashnikovs after they brainwashed their cycles, exposed them to scenes of killing and violence. The Human Rights Report monitored the Houthi recruitment of 1,748 children and pushed them to the front lines. Not to mention the loss of the lives of hundreds of children, making children in Yemen pay the bill of the Houthis' actions.